Candela, hypnotherapist, transformation coach, and a spiritual teacher. You're about to listen to a recording of one of my regression sessions. If you enjoy the content on my channel, please consider subscribing. And if you click on the bell, it will inform you of any of my future postings. Also, leave a comment and click like, because that helps to bring this kind of content to more viewers. I hope you enjoy the recording, and I hope to see you again in my future videos. Find yourself in your house on the evening of the 4th as you're getting into bed. On the count of 3, you will find yourself in a moment when something unusual happens. 1, 2, and 3. And tell me what you're noticing.
My arms feel hot and heavy, and it looks like these things are coming in. They look kind of like mantises. They have 4 long legs, and they're big and come through the door. One's coming through the door.
There's just one of them?
Yeah, that's all I can see. I don't know if there's one behind it. Just see it coming through the door.
And describe them a little more. Anything about them that draws your attention?
I don't see what looks like clothing. They have big legs in front that look green, and they look like they might have spikes on them or long hair, and then they have big joints. I can't tell how it's bending, if it's double jointed on the front, like one moving down and one's moving up. Like there's 3 parts of it. So instead of like where your hands would be, there's like another part, but it looks like a hook thing or a claw thing, almost like a crab maybe. And I can't see it coming to the door. I think it's halfway through. It looks like a mantis, but I just can't see what the head looks like. It looks like it's coming through on 4 legs. It's tall. It's almost to the top of the doorway.
And what does it do when it comes in?
I feel anxious. My upper arms feel hot. My hands feel cold. I can feel my dog next to me. And the thing, whatever it is, it's at the end of the bed, now almost kind of standing, but squatting, because it might be too tall, and just looking at me. And it looks like it has a black body, but it might be clothes. It looks like it's almost lines across it. A material like a leather that looks like padded or quilted, but not quilted, just lines across it. It's just sitting there.
Is your dog awake?
My dog is awake.
And is your dog responding to them in any way?
She has her head down, and she's pushed against me, trying to push her head under a blanket. I don't know if she's shaking. My mouth feels weird, like my upper lip is going up or something. My legs feel hot.
So I just want to check on something before we move forward. Did you say that they have 4 legs and then they have the arms?
They have only 2 legs, but when they were coming in, it's like they were crouched, so their arms were like legs, 2 in front and then 2 in the back. When it came, it was like on all 4s, and then when it got there, it was kind of like squatting on the back 2, and then the front one, not a double joint, just a big hand. And its arms are bent down, and the hand is bent down.
Okay. So is there still just one of them?
I think there's one in the hall that I can't see. I feel that it's there, but I can't see it.
Now, do you have a sense that they are communicating to you in any way?
It's just looking at me, and I feel calm. My heart is slowed down. I don't feel words. I don't think so.
Okay. And so become aware of what happens next.
I feel my arms and knees being pulled in a way by like a force, it feels like. It's at the top of my arms, and where the inside bruises were on my knees, and I don't know about the ones on my arms. I can't see anything right now. I just feel a pulling.
Which way are they being pulled, in what direction?
I feel like I'm sliding off the bed down towards the end.
The being is not touching you at that point?
It's not. Something is pulling me, but it's not anything physical.
And what happens next?
I'm off the bed. I'm not on the floor. I'm in the air. It seems like at the level of the bed. I can move my head, and I can see one of them in front of me, and the one behind me I can't see, and I'm moving out of my bedroom.
And where is your dog now?
My dog is in the bed.
As you follow along, just tell me where you're being moved to.
I'm in the hallway at the top of my stairs. The one who was in front of me is trying to face me, and the one behind me I can't see, but I feel now like there's hands next to me. I feel like a weird thing in my stomach now. I feel a burning. The burning is where I have that scar. It looks like a birthmark that was never there before. And it looks like the hand. I'm just sitting in the hallway right now. And the burning is going away now. It doesn't hurt.
Are they moving you anywhere else?
I'm staying there, but I feel like I'm going up. I'm going up, but I can't see anything. I was almost at the ceiling, and now I'm not there. I'm in, it seems like a room. I'm on, it seems like a big black long table that I sit on. It feels cool, but it's not cold. It feels like it's almost a hard liquid. Like I'm kind of sinking into it a little bit, but not. I'm not sinking totally in it.
Right. Take your attention for a moment to the space around you. You'll be able to see the room or the space that you're in on all sides, in front of you, to the side of you, and behind you. And describe to me what you see.
I can only see the front and the sides. It's white light, big piece of glass. It's tilted outwards. It looks like there's something black on the bottom that comes up 3 or 4 feet, and then from there's a white glass, a white light glass that you can't see through. It's like milk. It looks like 5 of them lean outwards, 2 on each side, 2 on the corner, and then 1 in front of me. It looks like there might be black lines between each of the pieces. I can't see behind me. Like on the corner piece, it's a triangle. There's black on both sides of it. And it looks like at the top of the glass, it tilts back up the other way. In front of it, it looks like a diamond. You have the sides that go out, and then the little parts that go up, which are black, and then there's a flat top. I can't see what's on the top. It looks like just troops, maybe. They look like they're gray.
You will find that you have incredible freedom in this space, that you can float up, can float around, you can look at things from any angle. And so if you choose, you can float up now and look at what's on top of them.
I see myself on my back, on the table. I think it's white now. It was black when I was put on it, and now it's white like the sides, the milky glasses under me. I think my arms are turned up, and I feel like I'm wearing like shorts of some sort. It looks like a medal, but it's not a medal.
Is there anybody in the room with you?
The one from the bedroom seems to be behind me.
What is it doing?
It's making the clicking noise. It's telling me something. I can't hear it, but I can feel it.
You can feel what it's telling you?
Yeah, it's like saying, be calm. And I do feel calm.
Now we're going to do something a little strange. You're going to turn on a universal translator that will allow you to communicate with these beings. You may interact with them in a physical language if you wish, or you may understand them and hear them telepathically. As we turn the universal translator on right now, I want you to ask it what it is planning to do with you.
Routine tests. That's what it said.
What are they testing?
Different levels, that's what they're saying. Just body stuff. It feels like it's physical. I'm feeling it's just fluids. Body fluids, that's what it's kind of saying. I feel like it's blood and saliva.
What is the significance of this testing? Why do they need to do this?
To see how you are. Have you done this testing before? And they're saying, yes. When was that? I'm just seeing the time in my bedroom. I thought it was my grandpa coming up the stairs. I heard like a walking up the stairs and there was a white light, and then I sat up and screamed and my mom came up. I always thought it was grandpa coming up the stairs because I would hear a clicking, like someone was walking up the stairs.
How old were you at that time?
I was 4, 5. I was sleeping in my new bed.
So ask them if they have been monitoring you throughout your life.
They're saying, I think yes. 3 times I'm saying. When I was young and white light came into the room, and then when I was in college, there was a disc above me. My friend was there with me. And then I was in New Orleans. I had a lot of missing time.
So I want you to return your attention back to this being. And I'm going to ask him or her or whoever it is to remind you your agreement that allows them to do this testing on you. You're going to be reacquainted and remember what your relationship is with them.
I'm seeing a time when I was one of them, or I was one, and then I wanted to go, and then here I am now.
Go back to that time when you were one of them, and they will help you remember that.
I feel my head different, and I can see my arms as being what theirs are. And I'm saying, I'll do it, I want to go. And then the next thing I know, I'm 5 years old. My eyes were different. I remember that when I was young, I thought seeing out of my eyes was different. I remember seeing later on when I was very young, I'm not sure what age, looking out of my eyes looked different. It was like seeing a bunch of little spots. Now that it would look like pixels, and it just seemed very foreign to me. I just started realizing I could see it again.
So go back for a moment to that time when you were one of them and you were saying, I'll do it. Become aware of what they were calling on you to do that you agreed to do.
To go and live a human life.
And why was that something that they were asking you to do?
They wanted to just know about it. I feel like it's human anatomy. It's like human experiences. What it is to be human. Like all your senses and your feelings and your body. Not really your mind. Just the human senses, the emotions.
And why are they interested in that?
I can't get an answer.
See yourself in that moment when you feel excited to take on this mission? Are they asking for volunteers, or is that an assignment?
It's a volunteer. I mean, I don't know why. All I'm getting is to feel like a human. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting any reason why.
How is this to be done? Are they going to monitor you, or do you report back when you return?
I feel like I'll report back. I give them, the testing is for body stuff, and then I feel like I'll report back. I don't know if I tell them when they take me. I don't remember. Yeah, I feel like it's at the end.
Okay. Are there any there that you're closer to, that you consider friends maybe?
Yeah, friends, yeah. It's not like a work relationship. It's like an intimate friendship one. Maybe you share thoughts, possibly. I don't know. You feel closer than I feel now with people. I think it's more telepathic. That's what it feels like.
Do all of them feel the same to you, or are there some that you're closer with than others?
It only seems like one. There's others maybe, but I don't feel like I'm talking to them at that moment. There's one on my left. I'm saying they'll do it.
Okay, and so the ones that have come to do the testing now, do any of them look familiar? Are any of them ones that you know?
Yes, I do. The one that took me, I've seen before at different times, but in more of a human form. All but looking more like a human.
Being a human, or just looking more like a human?
Looking like a human, like a Caucasian person. And I would speak to him about stuff, but in human forms, and it wouldn't be anywhere else. And that just happened a few times.
Is that someone that you remember from your world?
It seems like it's the person who was maybe next to me when I said I'll go, maybe.
Okay. So someone that you feel close to?
Yeah. He's come through to guide me about things I didn't know, tell me certain things. I guess apply the knowledge that they have or we have, but not what I have that would maybe help me in this human capacity.
So I want you to ask this being that's testing you, when they come in to test you, is this all part of the information they're gathering? Or is it to make sure that you are okay in this experience?
It's both. To see what is happening or how my body is reacting, I guess, or what my body is doing, then also to make sure that I'm okay.
And become aware of how many human life experiences you have agreed to doing.
I just remember this one.
Ask the being that is testing you if you have done other life experiences on Earth as a human, as part of this whole project.
Have I done this before? It's saying yes. That's why I agreed to go again. And I enjoy it. It's saying we're all one. We're all one. All related in different forms.
Do they study other beings in the universe? Or are they particularly interested in humans?
I feel like I'm just involved with the humans. Almost like it's an area of specialty. It does feel like they do others. But I only know the human ones. I don't know. Maybe it's other too. I don't know.
On the count of 3, you're going to find yourself with your species after you have returned from your first human incarnation, and you're about to report back on the knowledge you have gathered. 1, 2, and 3, you're back with them. And just tell me what you tell them.
I tell them, I feel like it's almost Egyptian pulling blocks in the sand. I tell them about that experience. Like I was there, but I wasn't a slave. I was a laborer. Being in the desert terrain and pulling blocks, but feeling okay with that. Living a normal life of working in the day and then at night being around a fire with people, drinking, doing it again.
What in particular do they find interesting about that experience? What do they learn from that about humans?
Seems like the social aspect of it. You go through life living kind of one way. How you live as a certain type of person. When your life is a certain way, your socialization, I can say how it works from beginning to end.
How is it different from your species?
It's shorter, it's more labor intensive, and it's different highs and lows emotionally. It's just because the knowledge isn't there. It's not that we can't feel it, it's just that our knowledge is better, so we understand things better. We don't have to go through those, but they don't understand it better. Like the knowledge isn't that strong yet of how things work, of the universe.
The humans don't?
Yeah.
So it's the human life that's shorter, right?
Right. And harder. Physically harder. I feel like there's no manual labor in the other place, in my species.
Mm-hmm. So is there something that you yourself find interesting in what you have learned?
In that life, I enjoyed what I was doing and how I was living my life. Everyone was the same, the people you were with. Like there were different classes or whatever. There was higher class, but the labor class was all the same. It was a harder life physically, but it was an easier life socially. No one was really different too much. Like the competition was kind of gone because you were all doing the same thing.
Your home species is not as homogeneous?
Everyone has tasks, but yeah, everyone is more homogeneous. Everyone understands things better. People can do things better with similar intellects. So it does seem like people are more homogeneous in a good way. I feel warmth with them, a closeness.
So there is a connection there?
Yeah, a stronger connection. It feels more collective in a way.
How do you report it? Do you submit some sort of record of it?
I feel like it's a memory download. You download it somewhere, and everyone can see it, or whoever wants to see it can see it.
Is it a physical download?
It is, but it's like electrically done. You're not hooked up to anything. I feel like I'm in something with something on both sides. It's black, but the inside is red, and then it just takes it all, and you can kind of see it. It doesn't take it away. It puts it somewhere.
Like makes a copy of it and puts it somewhere?
Yeah. Right. I don't remember them. I remember all of them when I'm at that species.
Mm-hmm. So once you're done with that, what happens next?
You do explain it. Your memories are downloaded, but you somehow communicate what the experience was like, and then you can do it again.
Right away?
You can sometimes.
What kind of social organization or social structure do you have? Do you have family units, or do you all live collectively?
I feel like it's more collective. I don't see any particular parents at the moment. I only feel like I'm an adult at this point.
And become aware how long your lifespan is, the physical lifespan.
I mean, I feel like it's been tens of thousands of years, maybe. I feel like I'm the same age as I was when I was maybe in Egypt.
And just get a sense of how many more times you have returned to Earth since then.
don't know. I can't tell.
Okay. When you're back in your world, do you reconnect with anyone that you're particularly close with?
It's like the same ones, it seems.
And they're always there waiting for you?
Yeah.
So when you're there and you're preparing for your next journey to Earth, do you ever have any kind of instructions about a particular thing you want to explore, something that you want to test?
I think so. Like this one, I just feel to learn from people, learn about people. And the one back in, I guess, Egypt was to just experience labor and a different social structure. This one is very different. It's like learn about people, what other people are feeling and thinking.
So it's more like a purpose or a task that you set for yourself?
Yeah. It's a task, yeah. Like a mission.
And is this mission something that you select or somebody else selects for you?
It's a collective thing, and then you can decide if you go back. We're part of the decision, maybe. I feel like it's a group thing. Why don't we see what this is like this time? That's when I say, oh, I'll go.
And are there others that come with the same type of assignment?
Yeah, same type of thing.
Okay. Are you aware of any of them in your current human life?
None that I can recognize. I feel like you have to be just this.
Mm-hmm. Before you leave your home world, tell me if there's anything else that catches your attention that's significant for you to notice, remember, or bring back.
Our world is a big ship. There's no planet that I can see. I don't feel I was never at one. So it's just like a big ship, it seems like. I just remember having to learn what you have to learn. It's just part of, I don't know, like a cosmic collective thing.
Okay. So allow those images to fade and just return back into that test room where you are on the table and the being is behind you. And you can once again have a conversation. Ask it, what are they testing that gives you the bruises that you're left with? Why do you have those particular bruises?
So I would remember.
So they want you to become aware now?
Yeah.
Why is
like coming out of the lesson. Yeah, I feel like there's things going in, checking stuff, and they don't hurt. I feel every place, and I don't feel any pain.
So you said you're coming out of the lesson. What does that mean?
Right. I mean, like you're starting to become aware of where you came from, maybe, and what you're here for.
So you're becoming more conscious about what you're doing.
Right.
And can you ask when you felt heat? First you felt heat in your hands, I think, and then arms, and then later in your stomach. What exactly was that? What were they doing?
The heat was to move me, and the stomach was just to give me a mark, almost like a tattoo in a way.
How do they use heat to move people?
You don't use the heat. It's not from heat, but your body feels heat. It feels like it's something pulling on your skin. It feels almost like a breeze, but it's pulling. It's wherever it pulls from gives you heat.
Okay. So now that you're becoming more aware of that experience and of where you're from and who you are, is there going to be a qualitatively different connection with them or a different experience? What is the reason they are pulling you out of not knowing?
It's to understand maybe where I came from and also to apply other knowledge to what I am learning. Understanding some of the knowledge that I have from elsewhere, having some awareness of it, so I can maybe experience things differently, or it'll help my understanding of things.
Now that you've kind of come face to face with them, you have a memory of actually who you are and where you're from and what your mission is here. When they come back to you, well, first of all, are they going to come back and continue testing? Let's ask them that.
Yes, they will come back.
Good. So when they come back, would you have conscious awareness and memory of that visit?
I don't think so.
Why is that?
Some of it is like they don't want you to remember because it could take away from your current experience. Yeah, it'll pull you out of the present.
So they want you to have an understanding of what's happening to you, but not necessarily a moment-to-moment awareness of it.
Right. And when they do your testing, you don't need to know about that. I do feel like there's parents, and they come with you. It's like the people you have maybe in this life or the ones you have in that one, like you're all kind of still connected. I don't know who they were there, but it's all the same. Like you have a family that kind of goes with you or in different levels. Hard to explain.
Are you talking about your human parents that were also connected to you there?
I feel like it's a spiritual thing. You have different lives, but it's like that other place, I think.
So they're with you spiritually. Are they with you physically in some form?
Sometimes, yes, they can be. They can come into your lives.
But not necessarily.
Not necessarily. But in your spiritual world.
They're with you.
Right.
Okay. So as you interact with this being that is doing the testing, has your experience with it changed? Do you have any fear, apprehension?
I don't. It feels reassuring or calming. Now that I know I'll be safe and I won't hurt and I'll have a better understanding. And I don't know if I'll have marks again.
Well, it seems like you won't need to have marks because you now have the awareness, right?
Right. That's what it seems like. If they do take me, when they do take me, I won't have to know about it. I won't need proof of it. I might kind of feel it, like I'll have something that's odd, but it won't really disrupt me at all.
Good. So now become aware if they have any gender differences.
I feel like there are. Yes. Male and female.
And the one that is with you, is that a male, female?
It's a male.
Okay. Is he the only one that conducts the tests, or does anybody else come in and do anything?
There's one other one there. The one that was also in my bedroom is there, but behind him also. That might be female.
Become aware of I think the glass that you referred to at the beginning, that's on both sides and on the corners. What are those for? What is their function? And you can ask them to explain it to you.
It's just a light.
Okay. So now move forward in time to the moment when they complete their work. And what happens then?
Then I was unhooked and I went back. And no one went with me back. I was just back in the bed, on my back, with the dog. And I woke up happy.
So when you go back, you go into sleep state. You're not aware and awake.
Right.
And what about your dog?
She was afraid. I mean, she woke me again. Almost kind of on me, which at the time was kind of rare.
Was she awake when they were there?
She was. And she had her head down.
And was she awake when you were gone?
I think so. No, it was a few hours. I think she just stayed there.
So they did not do anything in particular to make her unaware?
I don't know. I don't think so. But she wasn't scared when she woke up. She was a little clingy, but she was fine.
All right. So as you begin to let go of that day, you're going to begin to travel forward in time towards the present day. If there are other significant experiences that it is time for you to become aware of, they will come into your awareness and you can report them to me.
I think it's great.
Okay. We're beginning to let go of any events and experiences that you had on that day in February. When you return and fully awaken, when you review this recording, it will not bother you in any way, mentally, physically, or emotionally.